Today we're on a renovation site here at a kitchen remodel and soon to be an addition. But if you're in the business, are you tired of every month where it feels like your bills get reset and we have to go out there and get that work? Wouldn't it be nice if money automatically came in? If you're in this business, you're in a perfect situation to create passive income. Let's show you around. Hi Joey, what's going on?
Hey Steve, good seeing you again.
This is Joey with Golden Guys Construction, and we're here on a kitchen remodel. Last year we sat down and we were talking about how you were doing remodeling and you wanted to get into flips. I think you had a flip going.
Absolutely.
At that point. So let's talk about this real quick. This is a kitchen remodel. This is what you're doing.
Yeah, and absolutely. And with this one, guys, it was pretty cool because the fridge, when you walked in, the fridge was right when you walk in. We wanted to kind of create the space with them where it was more of an open space. We decided to move the fridge over here, open up the kitchen a lot. There was a wall, there was a full wall here that where their laundry and dryer ended up being. They wanted that out of there. Wasn't working for them. Ended up moving that from a full bathroom to a half bathroom.
Now, all of this is great, but we talked about it's active income, right? And you have to find these jobs every month, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's trying to keep the lights on. It's every month. We don't know our next job. Close it out. If it doesn't close out on time, it snowballs into the next job we can't start. And this business, this construction business is great, but it's just constant cash flow. It's always worrying about our next move.
But it's one of the best businesses to be in. I was there. I was flipping homes and I realized that that was active income. This is active income. You actively every month have to go out and do this. But we talked about in that podcast was, hey, get this. This will make your monthly bills. And the flips would make those chunks. And so the idea is to flip a home and not need that chunk of money, but what do we do with that money? And that's what we're gonna get to at the end of this video. We're gonna sit down and genuinely have a goal and strategy of what we're gonna do with those chunks. So I always say, if you're in this business, stay in it. It's a pain in the neck, but could you imagine being 70 years old, still chasing the jobs? And there's so many people that do that, but if they would just invest in one of their projects on their own, other than a customer, that is the key. And that's what I did. And you've got some flips going on.
Yeah, we do. So we have currently 3 active flips, one in Philadelphia, 2 in Carneys Point. The 2 in Carneys Point, we're in the framing stage, so we're early in that process. Windows get delivered tomorrow. Going to start installing.
So they're not just flips; they're actually like gut jobs.
Oh, they're guts. Oh yeah, they are guts.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the township needed some help on getting these houses to at least get some sort of taxes going on with that. So because of our record and what we've done in the construction side, we were able to create that resume to then give to the township. The township's actually going to help us fund these rehabs to then turn them over.
So where are you now mentally, right? So I guess it did help last year sitting down.
It did. Oh, it enlightened us a lot. You really helped us out in understanding what active and passive income actually meant. Active, we were in the day-to-day. We're still in the day-to-day, but we've since branched out and we've decided we were doing 1 flip and then 1 flip. Now we're doing 2 flips, 3 flips. We are slowly snowballing.
Because you see that goal.
That's it. We see that goal.
You have a purpose. You know why you're doing it. And I have this graphic in the book. I only flipped 5 houses, right? So I did that condo. I did 3 flips. I hit a home run. And then I had that $200,000. I knew that I didn't even know that I was following this plan, but it worked. And that's why I preach it and show it and coach it. But then I had that $200,000 chunk that I put into a $1 million property, which happened to be a self-storage facility. So that's good. You've got clarity. I'm going to help you with it today. We're going to go to every one of these projects at the end, and we don't know what it is yet, but let's brainstorm and see what that apple tree is, what that passive income is.
Absolutely, and we're definitely kind of looking to snowball, like we mentioned, construction, then get into our flips, and then to eventually do an apartment building. That's the goal. 10, 15 units, something like a $2.5 million asset.
Do you have one in mind? Did you
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Well, we'll explore that too.
Yep.
Again, clarify. Kitchen remodel, active income, right? That's a parallel road. We're going to have another road there of the flips that you don't need. They're not going to need those chunks of money. They're going to roll that chunk of money, snowball it, 100, 200, 300,000, whatever that might be, and roll it into something like an apartment building. That is the formula, and if you're in this business, it's the best way to do it. All right, we're leaving the kitchen remodel here. Now, you mentioned, I'm really excited to see, you said studs and windows. I mean, these are some heavy flips that you're doing.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, we're in the early stages of it. They're not the best looking builds, that's for sure. But we're excited to kind of show you guys the process and see, you know, from kind of start to finish on how we operate.
Absolutely. And those, typically, you make a lot more money, you know, when you're down, like versus just doing cosmetics.
And that's, yes, absolutely. So we started with kind of doing one flip, and then we need to kind of take that next step. So now we're doing 3 active flips, and 2 of them being in Kearney's Point, the other being in Philly.
Great. All right, let's go check them out.
Awesome, let's go.
So here we are at one of Joey Matt's flips right behind me. Now, I got here a little earlier. I looked it up. Looks like he paid around $140. Yep. And I looked in the windows, cosmetics, just around 20,000 bucks, paint, some hardwood flooring in there. And it looks like it's under contract for $210 or pending.
It is, yeah, it's pending, Steve. But actually, that's not our flip. This is our flip.
That's your flip.
That is, yes, that is our flip, indeed.
Now, look, I thought this thing was abandoned. What's going on over here?
No, so yeah, so it was abandoned, township owned, went to the township. At that point, you know, put a...
That's not the flip.
No, that's, yeah, we put a letter of intent together.
It's a great comp.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, this is it. Come on inside, guys.
Now, you getting a new front door?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a new front door.
But I like that. Holy cow. Now, hold on. If you're in the business, this is why this does not scare Joey, right? Because you're doing this for customers, but you're actually doing this now for yourself, which is awesome. And this is a flip.
Absolutely. So this thing was a disaster. There was water piles piled 3 foot high. There was clothes out the wazoo. I mean, it took about 6-7 dumpsters just to get things out of this. Now we are reframed. Plumbing's pretty much done on the rough end. We're starting to box out electric. We have windows coming tomorrow, siding getting started. The roof's already on, so we're gonna get closed in here, really rock and roll, try to get done and out of here by end of August.
So here we are, mid-July. You're gonna be out of here in 6 weeks.
Absolutely. It's go time. It's absolute go time.
And that's the key too. If you guys are starting out, you know, the guy right behind the camera, we're gonna get to his place, Jake. He has one and he's been doing all the work himself. He's about probably going to be a year into it, which is fine. It's exactly how I started. But you guys, it's a system. If you're in the business, get in, get out. Time is money. And that obviously resonates with this project here. I can't believe 6 weeks.
Yeah, and we're doing 2 at the same time as well. So we have.
So you have another one going on.
Yeah, right down the street. We can throw a stone to it.
I'm going with you this time so I don't get at the wrong property. Because I was on Zillow. I'm like, oh, they got it for this. They bought it for this. And I was trying to figure out that, you know, $40,000 spread. So
you were close.
Let's go take a look at the other one. So this is right around the corner.
Yeah, so like I said, maybe a 9-iron away.
You were very fortunate to get 2 of them.
It worked out that way.
And which is good for scaling, especially being in the business, is the fact that they're both relatively at the same stage. This one's probably a little bit further behind, so you'll just move your subs right over here.
That's exactly right. As soon as they're done framing, they move right over here. The good news is it's the same exact layout, so we're not really changing anything. For this one, we don't even have to redo the subfloor like we did the other one. So this one's going to go a little bit quicker. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Matt.
What's up, Steve?
How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. So, yeah, so Matt and I aren't always together. He's been here kind of just making sure framing's getting done accordingly. Like I mentioned before, we didn't even have to change out the subfloor here.
We've got some projects going on.
Yeah, we sure do. So as you can see here, we're kind of starting fresh with this place. You know, had a lot of broken down walls. Just kind of refreshing every interior party walls. Going to be all new framing, all new plumbing, electric, you name it. Pretty much a brand new house.
Now I heard since we talked last year, you ventured off into spec homes.
Yeah,
What's easier, new construction or remodeling?
New construction, not even close.
It is. And you did that where?
Media, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Now, are you done?
Yes.
It is done.
So since last year, what'd you do? You bought a piece of land and built something?
So we actually bought, it was an existing house.
Okay.
We took it down to the original foundation, added to it, and built a whole new house.
Okay. And we're going to be able to look at that today.
Yep.
Awesome. So that is why, guys, I love, like, this is good. You guys will make money here, which is good. I know all the aggravation it takes, but for that new construction, definitely a larger trunk of cash over there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the key.
Very well on that.
Much less surprises too. Renovation to new construction.
And I always talk about growing, like these guys are doing remodeling work, and now they're doing some of these. This is great. This is a great project, but you want to keep going and find that niche. And that niche, what I did was home building, right? And you're probably, would you phase out of this and do more?
Yeah. So
home
kind of
building?
like when we talked last year, we had that number in mind. We wanted to hit 500,000 to like really have some working capital to leverage some of the money we borrow to get into bigger projects.
Yep.
So for this is kind of giving us that spark plug we need to really go buy some, acquire some land and get some funding to really.
And that's the
build
thing, and a lot of, we've talked about it earlier, is that when you're doing this, that goal of you mentioned apartment buildings. I got some ideas for you guys, but to not have that vision in your head, it's hard to get in here if you're not working towards that goal. That's why it's so important to research. For me, it was self-storage. I didn't know, I kept flipping, and it took me 2 years to get that open, but I knew that I was flipping into that, so it was a lot clearer, and I worked harder because I had that end goal. Now you're like, I might do apartments, so it's real important to have that goal of what all this aggravation is for.
Yeah, and even when we met a year ago, I just thought it was crucial and so insightful in what you said where, hey, you start small and then you continue to let it snowball.
Yep.
And that's kind of our goal here, is to let this snowball into those bigger and better things.
We're going to talk about this. Don't be afraid to get out of residential completely and to get into commercial. And that might be your first apple tree or passive income too. You guys are built for it, I'm telling you.
We're ready.
Let's go check out that flip, right? It was
Yes.
it was a custom build. Awesome.
Yeah.
But man, look at this. So this is it, the spec house.
Yeah, this is it. We completed about a month ago.
Now, what was here first? It started with what?
Yeah, so this was originally, it's a 3-bed, 1.5 bath house. It was like 1,500 square feet. Took it down to the original foundation.
Tore it down.
Yeah, tore it down, added an addition to it, and we went vertical, second story for the whole addition. So
Okay,
now
so it's basically a new build.
Yeah.
And you guys are all over the board, man. You're doing kitchen remodels, flips down to the studs, new homes.
Yeah, a little bit of shiny object syndrome.
It's like you're chasing everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you struggling with anything? Is it too much? Is it you're trying to?
Yeah, I think at times, it's not taking off a little bit more than we can chew. It's just kind of shoot before we aim. So really kind of need to try and.
So the kitchen bath remodel, that pays your bills, and that's the number one goal, right? You want to get that paid. This is kind of bonus money, just like the flips would be.
Yep.
But if you had your goal or your preference, what would it be?
Building new stuff.
New construction.
New construction, always new construction.
Because remodeling, you like remodeling?
No, it's to keep the lights
But it's a good stepping stone, right? And I
Yeah.
think that, and looking at this, like you said to me earlier, that you should have just tore this down and built a brand new house. And I think that is always, you should always have a spec, because that's going to help you. But you needed to be doing this for clients, like having a couple custom homes where use this as the sample home and replace those kitchen and bath remodels and some of those specs, and that'll be your new guaranteed income. And if you do 2 or 3 of those a year, you're good.
And that's the goal, is just to transition into that. You have to start somewhere, right? Keep the lights on.
Yep.
We're not really doing too
But
many
if you don't set
bathrooms
that
anymore,
date, like
but
by
you have to.
October,
That's exactly
right, we're done.
And we have already on bathrooms. So we've gotten that step already.
Yeah, so
All right.
bathrooms are out. Now it's like we're still with kitchens and additions, and eventually kitchens are out. And
Yep.
additions, new builds, so we're kind of
Like,
chipping away.
additions are good money, right?
Yeah, sure.
And again,
definitely.
it's a little stepping stone, because like what I did in Stone Harbor, I ended up, and somebody told me a long time ago, it's like, hey, perfect world, you do all specs, but you're holding your breath to get paid, right? Until somebody goes there. So the customs pay your bill. The customs allow you to be able to do the specs, which is good. And I always did like 3, 4 customs for one spec that I did. Have you looked for land around here to do a spec?
We're on the hunt. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that we talked about before. It's we spend so much time in the business than working on it.
Yep.
So we definitely need to allocate more time for hunting for deals.
I've got it. I noticed a lot down there. So I guess there could be a lot down here at the
Yeah,
end?
potentially. Right at the corner, could be one that could be subdivided to build a new house.
And this development's how old?
It's about 20 years old.
Okay, but these are wide lots.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. So Steve, let me ask you something. For someone that, kind of been in our shoes, have graduated to bigger and better things, one of the things that I feel I struggle with, I think Joey does too, is more or less, kind kind of the balance of everything. You know, we work really hard to try and, you know, grow this thing, but at the same time, it's like, I'd love to have more time with my family. It's like, where do I draw that line? You know, sometimes it just becomes a blur.
Are you spending late nights on the business?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like
Late
early
nights,
mornings?
Early mornings.
Why?
Because we have to. Because
Where-
it costs too much to hire somebody to train them on what we do.
You
every
think
day.
that now,
We
but
do
let me ask you this: we've been in 2 states today, looking at kitchen bath remodels, new home construction, flips. I think where you live, how far from here?
About an hour 45.
And you live how
20
far?
minutes.
20 minutes. So how far is he from the kitchen project, the first one?
An hour.
He was about an
Yeah.
hour.
So you guys, I think, really one thing that I did. I'm a very, very lazy person, right? Like I never, you know, I'll talk about staffing and orchestrating and things like that. But geographically, I always was in one area, right? Where I did my commercial, I did my home building, I did my flips, Woodbury Heights, Winona, all that area, which was in, you know, maybe a 4 or 5 mile radius. Could you imagine if you lived there, which I did,
Yep.
right, and worked there? So I think that is something that you might want to focus on, what one of these areas, but we have to couple it with, we don't want to do kitchen and bath remodels, you can do that anywhere.
Yep.
But like if this is the area where you think that you want to go with custom home building, which I think this is a good area, maybe you just need to focus on this area. Now, the Carney's Point area, you're getting in good with the locals and things like that, and you're finding you know, pieces of property to flip at a very good return. But you got to do that. I think the geographical. But I never missed anything with my kids, and like I just put it away. The hotel, even the hotel. I was on a podcast the other day, and they said, "Well, how do you balance it?" If I didn't have the key people, if I didn't have my Karen in the office, if I didn't have my project managers, if I didn't have Rodney, all those people, you know, the hotel managers, the hospitality managers, every one of those that did their job. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to do it. You know, think of you guys are the CEO, and you have to have all these places. Now, the next thing is I can't afford that. But almost you can't afford not to have that, right? So as you're transitioning into this custom home building, we met a project manager earlier. What was his name?
Chris.
Chris. I think, would he be able to handle the custom, if you guys did like 4 customs?
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely.
And where does he live?
He lives in Woodbury, so he's pretty generous.
So
he's
he could come
located.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you had one like in King of Prussia, down the shore, and all these different places, it would be tough.
Yeah, like I said, shiny object syndrome at times.
Yeah.
You know, we see an
Well,
opportunity.
that's
and
why
jump
you're in
at
the
it.
business. ADD, that's what I have, right?
Yeah.
I have shiny coconut syndrome.
Kings-
Who's doing sales?
We both do.
So we both do sales. Basically, I manage Jersey side. Matt manages PA. from
So
soup to
now,
nuts.
could one of you do sales?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
there's no way. why we
Who would it be?
It would be me.
Hey, he says he's a better salesman than you, huh?
I'm a little bit better in the field, so you know. Hey,
Are
we-
you
we
seriously?
complement.
Yeah.
All right, so listen,
Definitely.
that's
We
what
definitely
we can walk
are.
in. That's what I did with at the beach.
Yep.
Right? My guy was operational. I loved, had a passion for selling and design, and I made that deal with him. I said, look, you focus on that, right? I will focus on sales, and guess what? That's when my business.
And I love selling. That's
Yep.
what I love.
Then do that. You got to divide, right? Your operations, your sales. You know, the geographical thing is why you're spreading that out right now. But I would definitely 100%, hey, this is my role. You love doing it. I hate doing operations, right? And you might not necessarily like the sales aspect of it. But I think from an operational standpoint, you can put these pieces in, which are going to make your life a lot easier. But what's really going to make your life easier is not only the geographical area, is saying, hey, from now on, in October, our goal is to have 3 custom homes going on, right? How are we going to get those? You know, through the architect as a referral. You have a great resume right here. You can walk people through. We're out front here today, which is a good thing. These people aren't yelling at you or throwing things at you, so you have a good rapport with the buyer, which is great. And that's going to be your best friend as a testimonial right there. So, and that's exactly how I started in Stone Harbor and doing the custom homes. So,
What would you say? You know, what is our next step? Getting to that 3 to 5 custom homes, spec houses. Is that the next step? you
I
think,
would,
for us?
right now, this is key, and I've said this in other videos, is that no matter what, you guys should be out like we did today. I went right down there to see if that was an available lot. That available lot could be for you as a spec home, or if somebody's trying to build a home, hey, I already know about these lots, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
they could be a custom home. And one of the things I did was I said, hey, this home is going to be $500,000 when we're done, but I'll give it to you for $475 if you buy the land, and then you build a custom home on it. So that's what you could do, like if you have options on these
okay.
lots.
Yep.
I did that a lot. You might not want to spec all of them, but the key is to find this land, because they're going to be in the same boat that you are, may or may not be able to find a piece of land.
Got it.
So
Okay.
But think about this though. This is all active income. This is, we're making money. Hopefully the kitchen remodels and the custom homes that you do will pay your bills, right? And then the flips that we saw earlier and this particular property and a spec home will make those chunks of cash to roll into something to make you passive income. That's going to replace the custom home someday. That's going to replace the kitchen remodels. So have you given it thought, like what that might look like?
As far as
single
like,
family rentals? Could it be, commercial facilities, some type of rental?
Yeah, I mean, I think a larger scale asset, just because it's something, hey, we could, even if we were able to build one versus
You said
buying.
apartments earlier.
Yeah, I think apartments.
Okay. Are there any in the area that we could look at, or?
Yeah, I think there is actually. Right beyond that lot we just looked at.
We should go take a look at that. I always like being in front of the goal, right? Like
Yeah,
as far
that's
as
cool.
like
I
we're
like
looking
that.
here,
Yeah.
But let's go take a look at that. And again, it's all planning. I said earlier, like it's so easy to get bogged down with blinders, your head down. But as owners, take every 6 months, come out and say, where the hell are we going? Because you don't be doing this when you're 70, 50 years old, still doing bathroom remodels. Not that it's bad.
I don't want to do it tomorrow.
Well, that's good. You got motivation. Yeah. All right, let's go check out the apartments.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
One thing that I think is very, very important is we keep talking about rolling that chunks of money and investing in some type of passive income. And I always like to go out to construction sites. What does that mean? I mean, if you don't put a picture with a goal, you'll never get there. This was mixed use, right?
Yep.
Apartment complexes, there's retail down below, obviously way bigger than something that you might be doing. Your first, commercial piece or passive piece that you're going to keep. But this is awesome. So this is a great area. It's booming. And that's what you should look for, right? Look for that area that is, I mean, this, I think, you keep asking a geographical area. We're literally 4 minutes from the house that you just built.
Yeah,
There's construction everywhere.
What's great about this stuff is Matt and I come from this world. This is the stuff that we used to build before we started or anything.
That's even better, right? And we keep talking about, hey guys, if you're watching this video, if you're an electrician, a plumber, if you're in the business, invest in yourself. But how do you take that leap, right? If you're trying to save that 100,000, 200,000, 300, for me it was 200,000. I had from that last flip I did, I rolled into a self-storage facility. But this is something that you could do. It doesn't have to be on this bigger scale, but this would replace that, if it's 100,000 each or 150,000 each, that you're, doing the kitchen bath remodels and doing, the custom homes. That's what this is going to replace. And I love commercial. You guys talked about apartment building earlier. I mean, this is a mix of both pieces. You've got the apartment here and you also have, retail under here.
Yeah, for sure.
But what are you thinking? Like, what's that next step? Like, when will that be? Like, we'll lay a plan out, of getting into the custom home building, trying to get rid of the bathroom remodeling. But you don't want to be doing custom home building forever.
No.
You've made some money already from flips.
Yep.
As opposed to last year. So I think do we look at, you mentioned 25 unit apartment building. Did you figure out how much that might cost?
Yeah, so probably maybe even a little bit smaller. Probably, I don't know, Matt, $2.5 million.
Yeah. So I mean, like our goal, yeah. So our goal, we said we wanted to come up with $500,000. So, that gets us a $2.5 million asset, 20% down.
Yep.
So I mean, I think realistically, probably get between anywhere from 12 to 15 unit building, something like that.
And maybe something like this, where you, in an area, if you could find something where you have the best of both worlds, you have retail down below.
Yeah.
Right? And then, you've got apartments above. I've always heard the magic number, it needs to be 100 units to have that maximum scalability of a manager, an on-site manager. You guys are in a perfect position. If you're a plumber, electrician out there, if you're in the business, you guys come from the construction background, the commercial background. You are actively flipping homes, remodeling, and doing spec houses. Or like that one spec house we just looked at. But from a raw land standpoint, like how this would start, just like my self-storage facility, you get those approvals. I paid $180,000 for that land. It was woods. It wasn't approved for self-storage. Once I had 258 units approved, I had an offer of $450,000. I could have flipped that piece of land. And by the way, we were talking about how would you acquire that piece of land. That 180, I put $20,000 down as a deposit. It was contingent upon site plan approval. So you're not paying them 180 because you don't know what you can build there.
Okay.
And a lot of sellers know that and will hold that as you get the approvals. But I talk about a train. Stay on the train, don't sell. You've just built equity there. You guys are builders. You're not going to hire somebody 20, 30% on top of that. You can build it yourself. Your concrete guys can come in, your construction guys can come in. You're going to make money there. And the third way you're going to make money, right now, this place is not worth that much. Why? There's no occupants in it and nobody's down there. Once that's full, 80, 90%, it now becomes an income producing property, a REIT, something like that, or private equity might come in. I don't suggest selling. Keep that, because that was the goal, right?
Yep, exactly.
To replace your salaries. So, and that's the goal. So
Need that apple tree.
again, the apple tree method. Don't chop the tree down. Eat all those shiny apples to passive income. Was a great project to come to, just to kind of motivate you. And again, maybe it's 10% of this that you guys build.
Yeah, it's certainly attainable.
But just, you got to have that plan. You got to write it down and stick with it. Both capable. And I'm going to be off to the Bahamas, and I can't wait to see you guys in 12 months. You better be building something like this.
Got it.
Excited.
We'll
Thank
see you in
you.
the Exuma.
See you there. If you are in the greater Philadelphia area and are looking for a custom home, or if you've got some land that you like to develop, call Joey and Matt with the Golden Guys. I have seen a lot of construction in my day. I've built for a lot of high-end quality clients, and these guys are very, very capable of it. We just looked at that spec house. The quality of craftsmanship is there. So give these guys a call, the Golden Guys.